Good afternoon, Larimer County, and welcome to our meeting this afternoon. Today, our purpose is to certify the mill levies for tax year 2023 and budget year 2024. My name is John Kafalis, Larimer County Commissioner, Chair for 2024. I'm joined by my Commissioner colleagues, Kristen Stevens from District 2 and Jody Shattuck McNally from District 3. And while we're required to reside in a particular district, we do our best to serve the entire Larimer County. Also joined by our County Manager, Lorenda Volker, and then there are some folks who can introduce themselves on the other side of the budget, on the other side of the table. Again, just to make sure it's clear to folks, our purpose today is to certify the county mill levies as well as the ones that come from the improvement districts, and that is our primary purpose. In the resolution, it will also include a reference to the mill levy credit also. So with that, actually, Lorenda, just turn it over to these folks.
Sure. I guess this is, I'll just add that this year, these two, adopting the budget and certifying the mill levy, were separated because of the special session and the legislature conducted that gave a little extra time for assessors to come up with mill levy numbers. And so we adopted the budget in December, and we are now here to adopt the mill levies. I'll hand it off to Matthew Bahanen, our budget team lead.
Thank you very much, Lorenda. Welcome, colleagues.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Matthew Bahanen with the Office of Performance, Budget, and Strategy. And we are here, there are two mill levy resolution documents to vote on today. The first is for county operations, which includes mills for the General Fund, the Road and Bridge Fund, the Health and Environment Fund, the Human Services Fund, and then also there are mills, part of county operations for an abatement levy, a levy for Foothills Gateway, and a temporary mill levy credit, as you said. Then the second resolution would be for all county administered districts, including close to 70 improvement districts, the PES district, and we also have a document for the public trustee, although there are no mills for that. With the final assessed value, the final certification from the assessor's office, there is a 25% increase in assessed values from 2023 to 2024. This does not mean that an individual property, your home, your specific home value is going up by 25%. It's the result of a few factors, including an increase in assessed value, also the new construction. So if you built or improved a property, oil and gas values were up significantly, and then also the differential between the amount of value in TIF districts compared to the overall increase in value. TIF meaning a tax increment financing district. It's a way to stimulate construction and improvement in blighted areas run by cities. So all those factors together combined to a 25% increase in assessed values. And so the question is, what is Larimer County doing with the 25% increase in assessed values?
And Matthew, would you talk a little bit closer to your mic so we can all hear?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
So 25% increase in values, 10% of that increase is to continue to maintain services. Because the reappraisal happens every other year, we started 2023 already behind. So $7.5 million will go to balance the general fund, $2 million to keep deputies and social caseworker wages competitive, $7 million to staff new and expanded jail and alternative sentencing facilities, other inflation-related costs, personnel, inmate food, computers, ammunition, cybersecurity costs, steel, other supplies. And then in addition to that 10%, there's another about 3% to cover new requirements under state law, so changes in state statute over the past few legislative sessions. Things like new jail reporting requirements and housing requirements, so that new staff to fulfill those, to pay and operate body-worn cameras, new juvenile offender transportation costs, and also stormwater permitting requirements. There has been $2 million for increased medical costs at the jail. This has risen, this contract for nurses and medical care for inmates has risen by $6 million since 2021. And then also increased officer liability costs. So about, of this 13% in increased costs for maintaining existing services and fulfilling new requirements in state law, about 75% of those are related to public safety. So sheriff's cost, alternative sentencing costs. Also, the county is adding new services, but this is less than 1% of this 25% increase. So housing affordability, eviction prevention, a new domestic violence prosecution team, and some of these costs are offset by reductions, budget cuts in other areas, including eliminating vacancies in motor vehicle recording, phasing out property tax support for natural resources, and other administrative reductions. Commissioners have also directed us to set aside $9.5 million in a disaster contingency fund, bringing this fund to just above $20 million, which is about 6%. And then the commissioners have also directed for the mill levy resolution to include a $5.5 million mill levy credit. This comes out to about 0.632 mills. So that's the amount that you'll see in the mill levy resolution, and you can use that. It's applicable to your value. So if you're looking at, your home. The remaining additional 2% is from an increase in values of oil and gas properties. And we've been directed for have staff return with some proposals about how this might be used to mitigate air quality impacts from the oil and gas industry, and also bring some options to commissioners to address the needs of vulnerable residents. Mill levies for other taxing districts, school districts, cities, fire districts, library districts, metro districts. Those are all due to the county today, and we've been making phone calls, making sure those get in. These will be reviewed, confirmed, and then sent to the assessor's office by next week. We have a deadline to meet. Tax bills will go out by the end of the month, and then they would be, the first half payment would be due at the end of February. And I would want to point out there's a property tax deferral program for seniors, active military, or for any property that exceeds growth over 4%. And there are also exemptions for seniors, Gold Star spouses, and qualified disabled veterans. And that's 50% of the first $200,000 in actual value of a primary residence. And you can apply for those, and there's information about these programs on the assessor's website. And I think that's it from me. I'm happy to answer questions.
Matthew, thank you. Thank you very much. Are these mics on? They must be. Yeah. Thank you. So at this time, colleagues, do you have any questions, comments, observations? Yes, Commissioner?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Matthew, for a really excellent presentation and explanation. You gave that if residents have questions that they can go to the assessor's website. Speaking for older adults like my mother who are not on the internet or refuse to get computers, is there a phone number, or who should they, is there somewhere they can call? Should they call the assessor's office? And do we have, can we maybe share some of that information for those who maybe don't have access to digital means? So thank you.
Yeah. And so we'll get that phone number pulled up. Alex, do you have it?
Yes, I do. That phone number is going to be 970-498-7050, and you can call between Monday and Friday, 7:30 to 4 p.m., 7:30 a.m.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I want to, Mr. Chair, I just want to Thank you all, and I want to just thank the assessor, County Assessor Bob Overbeck, for being in the audience today. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner, do you have any questions, comments, observations?
Yeah, I do have, well, I mean, I'm looking over this article because it was forwarded to us, and it says some Coloradans can postpone part or all of their property tax bill this year, including if there's a big hike. Do you know anything about that piece?
Yeah,
Did
so
you read
that's
that?
a property tax deferral program. And so you can defer your property taxes if you are a senior over 65, active military, or if the value exceeds 4% average growth over the past 2 years, which I think most people's properties have at this last reappraisal. So that deferral, it's not a way to, you still have to pay eventually prior to selling the property. Those would be due, and there is an interest that would accrue. I think that's around 4% right now.
Okay, yeah, I didn't know much about that program. Thank you for explaining how that works. Yeah, it's I guess I have the article up, and it says, yeah, can apply to have $10,000, up to $10,000 deferred, so, okay. Well, and I just wanted to say thank you for, explaining the situation that we're in, and I just wanted to thank all the folks who are here today that came to, hear what we plan to do. So I hope folks heard it, that we are doing a mill levy credit, that it will be $5.5 million. And that is because there was some increased property tax that came after we had after our budget team had done their work. There were some additional dollars that came in through property tax. Most came in through from oil and gas. And so the portion that came in from property tax, we wanted to add to that mill levy credit that we had already committed to. So we do understand, we have heard that people are struggling, and definitely want to use some remaining dollars to work with our housing stability manager, I think. At least that's my desire, to try to find good programs that will help people who are struggling right now. I know that there's some folks that wanted us to give back more dollars. We do have still concerns about the uncertainty that's out there. We're not sure what the legislature will do this session. We are not sure what the task force will come up with that's currently meeting, and finally what will happen at the ballot box. And so, we will, as the year progresses and we get more certainty, we can certainly look at things for the following year as well. But I just wanted to thank all the people that were engaged. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sending the emails. Thank you for the phone calls. And, people have asked us to be good stewards of these dollars. And we tried to strike a balance between giving some of those dollars back and keeping some of those dollars for what we know are needs that are happening in the future. So that, I think for me, at least that's why I made the decision, that I'll be making the decision I will be today to do the $5.5 million in the tax credits. And I think that's it for me. Thank you.
And before I think Commissioner Shattuck McNally has a question or a comment. I just want to make folks aware that after that, my intention is to read the first resolution, because I think in the interest of transparency, I think it's important to go through it. It's a little bit over a page, so I was going to ask you to do it, but I don't want to put that on you, and so I will read it, because I want folks to hear it and all the details in it. I think that's important, so just be aware. Yes, Commissioner.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to first thank the assessor and the assessor's office. I know after the special session and some of the tinkering with property taxes and some of the changes, the assessor's staff in the office and the treasurer's staff and office had to do some extra work and some extra time to navigate these new circumstances. And I know they put a lot of time, and there's a lot of, we have over 300 taxing entities in those Larimer County, and I know this was a lot of patience as we tried to navigate some new circumstances. And I want to express my gratitude to all the employees and staff and to the assessor and to the treasurer and public trustee for their diligent work and their collaboration and cooperation with us, because here in Larimer County, we work as a team, and we have 10 elected offices, and it's really important that we support each other through these kind of unusual times. So I wanted to express my gratitude to our budget team, and for Josh Fudge, our performance strategy and budget director, and Matthew Bahanan, our budget team lead, and Alex, why am I drawing? I should know this. Alex Jordan, sorry, Alex, drawing a blank, for all your work and the extra above and beyond, monitoring the special session and the changes and keeping us informed. And you guys have really done some outstanding and extraordinary work, and really helped keep us informed and helped us understand some of these complexities that have been new and different this year. So I wanted to just express my gratitude and tell you that I thought you'd done an excellent job, and really proud of the work that you do. So thank you very much. And I want to echo some of the things that Commissioner Stevens had said, but also want to express my concern as we do this. We're with the potential of initiatives coming up on the ballot. You know, I wanted to express my concern about still a structural deficit that could be, going forward. And that's another reason that I have some concerns and why I'm voting the way I am today and how we came to this decision. So just as we look forward and knowing could be a new ceiling, I just wanted to express some reservations that I still have. And also, I appreciate what we're going to look at for mitigating some oil and gas, as well as addressing the needs for our vulnerable residents. That's really important to me as we're trying to use this for the better good, for public good for all, and I appreciate that. Also, I want to just emphasize, we really did not grow government. We kept it under 1%. And really, we offset a lot of these costs. And the things that we need to do for increasing this domestic violence prosecution team is really important, and the affordable housing eviction prevention is really critical, I think, at this time in our community, and something that I think is important to address. And there are a lot of things, about 15% of this increase is just to keep current services rolling, and because the costs have risen so much. And so I think that's really something else I wanted to emphasize, that we're starting off already just seeing a very large increase, more than inflation, to keep services where they're at today. So I just think that's important to note. Other than that, I just wanted to express my gratitude to everyone, and to our county manager, assistant county manager, for helping us navigate this and helping us have all the information we need to make an informed decision. You guys put a lot of time into this budget, and to also that we already approved, but also into this process. And I just want to express my gratitude and my pride in the work that you do. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Commissioners. So before I read the resolution, I just wanted to make a couple of quick comments and provide a little bit more perspective that was just shared with me. First of all, I'm grateful to all the people where our gratitude has already been expressed to. Certainly appreciate the folks from Sunflower Community and other parts of our county who have engaged in this process. I am genuinely grateful for that. So I want to express that appreciation. Perhaps in particular, our colleague and friend Matthew, who worked really hard to try to explain these things in a way, if we're getting this much more money, how is that going to help us pay for these expenses? And I think that's what you tried to do earlier on in this meeting. So thank you very much for your efforts there, and I think that's helpful. The additional information that I think we should be aware of so that we can make informed decisions, and I didn't have time to make a copy of this, but I will for my commissioner colleagues, and that is I just received a line, I believe it's a line graph, and it shows a person, the property taxes that they've paid over the last 24 years, and this person lives in unincorporated Larimer County, and it shows how from year 2000 to 2024, how it's gone up, how it's flattened, and how it's gone up rather significantly. And the overall dollar amount of what's been paid by this individual on their home is about 50 grand over the last 24 years. So I just thought that would be important to share, since the person went to the trouble of putting together the numbers, and I will make some photocopies of this line graph. With that said, I am now going to read the resolution. I presume folks would like me to read the resolution. Well, I guess. So, County of Larimer resolution to set levies. A resolution setting mill levies for the County of Larimer, Colorado, for the 2023 property tax year for taxes collected in the 2024 calendar year. Whereas, on December 14th, 2023, the Board of County Commissioners of Larimer County, Colorado, adopted the 2024 budget, and whereas the Board of County Commissioners has appropriated sums of money to the various funds and spending agencies for the calendar year commencing on the first day of January 2024 and ending on the last day of December 2024, and whereas the Larimer County Assessor has certified that a final net assessed value, $8,691,205,361 for the taxable year 2023. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of the County of Larimer, Colorado, Section 1, that for the purposes of meeting all general operating expenses of the County of Larimer during the 2024 budget year, there is hereby levied taxes as specified by the mill levies below. Upon each dollar of the total valuation for assessment of all taxable property within the County of Larimer for the taxable year 2023. General Fund excludes credits, refunds, abatements. The mill levy amount is 19.219. Road and Bridge Fund, the mill levy amount is 0.411. Health and Environment Fund, 0.542. Social Services or Human Services Fund, 1.399 mils. And that adds up to general operating expenses mill levy of 21.571 for Larimer County. Section 2, that for the purposes of meeting all debt service expenses of the County of Larimer during the 2024 budget year, there is hereby levied a mill levy of 0 mils upon each dollar of the total dollar valuation for assessment of all taxable property within the County of Larimer for the taxable year 2023. Section 3, that for the purpose of recovering all refunds, abatements applicable to the County of Larimer during the 2024 budget year, there is hereby levied a general fund mill levy of 0.056 mils upon each dollar, etc. Section 4, that for the purpose of purchasing services and support for persons with developmental disabilities during the 2024 budget year, there is hereby levied a Foothills Gateway Fund mill levy of 0.75 mils, as approved by voters November 2001, upon each dollar of the total valuation, etc. Finally, Section 5, that for the purpose, of providing a temporary property tax credit, and as contemplated in Colorado Revised Statutes 39-1-111.5, there is hereby provided a temporary general fund mill levy credit of .632 mils upon each dollar, etc. That is the resolution, one of the two resolutions that we will be considering in a moment, and that has to do with the county mill levies. I don't think I have anything else to say or ask. Colleagues, do you have anything else you wish to say or perhaps ask?
Can budget staff kind of explain why there were some additional dollars, how that happens, why there were the additional
Thank you.
roughly $5 million that were
Yeah.
not discovered? I mean, it was always there, but
So unique to this year, we're separating the mill levy, setting the mill levies from adopting the budget. And that usually goes together because you use your revenues to determine your expenses and your budget. Because of the special session when it occurred, it required the assessor to, just do some more calculations on properties that were not part of their normal process. And so it pushed back the deadline for certifying the final assessed valuation. Our deadline to adopt the budget remained the same. It had to be adopted prior to the end of the year. And so we made the decision to go ahead and schedule that budget adoption under your direction with the intent to revise the budget, the 2024 budget, as after we had the final certification. And so that difference between what we estimated for the 2024 budget and what was finally certified is that $5 million or so in revenue, which was the result of underestimating oil and gas revenues, new construction, and the difference between the TIF tax increment financing districts, which are diverted away from the county, and the overall county growth.
and the bulk of it is from oil and gas. And is that particularly difficult to sort of?
Yeah, it's a very volatile property type because it rises and falls with the price of oil and the amount of activity on those properties. Yeah.
Thank you.
Does that answer your question?
It does answer my question. And, because we had talked about, when we, about deciding on how many extra dollars to add to the mill levy credit, it felt appropriate to take the amount that was from property tax to be able to use as part of that credit. And the oil and gas, as Commissioner Shattuck McNally mentioned, can be used to mitigate some of the impacts that we're seeing from oil and gas in our community. So, and especially for our disproportionately impacted communities that have to deal with some of those pretty severe health impacts and other impacts. So, thank you for explaining that, though.
Thank you, Commissioner. So I think at this time I will ask Commissioner Shattuck McNally if she would offer the first motion pertaining to this resolution.
Certainly, Mr. Chair. I move to adopt the resolution to set mill levies for Larimer County for property tax year 2023.
Thank you, Commissioner. I believe that's a proper motion. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That passes 3-0. Matthew, would you now explain a little bit about the second resolution regarding improvement districts?
Yeah, so the second resolution to adopt mill levies for improvement districts, these districts are all voter approved. They're geographically limited in nature, which means there are a lot of them. And an improvement district, if you don't live in one, is to usually improve the roads, to maintain the roads of a subdivision in unincorporated Larimer County. And if a majority of residents in that district vote to approve that mill levy and create that district. The county will then help administer, collect the revenues, help administer the expenses for those improvement districts. And we have about 68, 69, and they're created often every year. In addition to that, the county administers a pest control district for abatement of noxious weeds. We also administer through the treasurer's office, the public trustee, and there's a resolution for that, I think under requirements of state law, although there are no mill levies, so it'll be a resolution with 0 mills. And we have done in the past, according to the direction of the county attorney's office, done a single motion to adopt all of them with one motion, so you don't have to read 70 separate motions, although you will have to sign it, each individual resolution for the public record.
Thank you. Thank you, Matthew. Colleagues, do you have any questions, comments, observations regarding this next resolution that is before us?
I do not, Mr. Chair.
Jody, Commissioner?
No questions, just want to again express my gratitude because like you said, there's 69 of these and thanks to the engineering department for their diligence and stewardship of those 69 or plus entities, the improvement district. So thank you.
Thank you. At this time, I'll ask Commissioner Stevens, she's on deck, to offer the motion for this particular resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I've taken a picture of the motion, so that's why I'm looking at my phone. I move to adopt the resolution to set mill levies for all county improvement districts, the pest district, and the public trustee for property tax year 2023.
Before we determine that that is a 100% proper motion, Josh, I believe you were making some kind of expression that we should include some information?
I'm sorry, it's actually multiple resolutions, plural. It's kind of a packet of resolutions.
So I will
Just to
amend
be
that
absolutely sure.
Move to adopt the packet of resolutions to set mill levies for all county.
Could you?
All right, we're going to try this one more time.
Yeah, please restate it.
Yes, I will
Thanks,
restate it, absolutely. So it looks like there are multiple resolutions, so I will amend my motion. I move to adopt the resolutions, plural, to set mill levies for all county improvement districts, the pest district, and the public trustee for the property tax year 2023.
I believe that is a proper motion, and so thank you very much, and thank you for the input. Any further discussion, colleagues? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That also passes 3-0. I believe we have concluded our work for this afternoon, and therefore at 4:04 p.m., we are adjourned.